Okay, we're going to do the translate step for set 9. Go into T1, translation team 1, and here's the translate icon in yellow. So again, in render, colors are important, and yellow guides you on what you should do next. It's like the yellow brick path. Colors, the gray color means something's not active. If I click or touch there, nothing happens. Dark blue is optional. It is active, but it's optional. So let's go to translate. All right, set 9, and the whole set will play now if I hit this button.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight.
All right, that's the first listen to the entire set. Notice that my play button has turned blue, so it's optional to play again, and the next button is yellow. When we're training teams, we train them not to play this more than this one time, but rather to hit the next button so we can go into the studio and begin working on the first passage. All right, so we're in the studio, the yellow brick road again. The play button is for the passage 1. So if this set had more than one passage, this is the first of those passages. Let me show you something else in the screen. Set 9 title is up here on the right. If for the project, the set titles have been recorded into audio, you could play it here. For the headset, this gives you access to the set audio for all the references, primary and secondary. So again, that's set audio, whereas here we're in the passage audio. All right, I'm looking now at my guide, page 85, the summary steps. So listen one time to the entire set. We just did that. Now we're in the studio, and we're asking if everything's clear, and asking if the team knows what it's about, giving any necessary background information, context, or transition. So let's say the set begins with a pronoun. The TA can help them understand who that's referring to, and so forth. So we're in the studio, and we can play the passage, and this will be our second listen to this passage.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight.
Okay, notice the changes to the screen. I now have a recorder at the bottom, active and ready for use. My play button on the passage is turned dark blue, and also the divide tool button has become active. It's optional, and you'll remember that this allows a team to cut their passage into more than one piece. And we don't train on this until the very end of the workshop. We don't want them knowing about it until then, so that they learn to draft larger sections of scripture, larger passages. Also active is my secondary reference, and our guide indicates at some point to play secondary reference. All right, so now we're at the stage where the team will use the questions to learn this very well. Who, what, where, when, why, and how, and who. And the TA can guide this conversation, this discussion, and he should allow the mother tongue translators to answer to each other in their mother tongue, to start discussing this passage and its content, its meaning in their mother tongue. So then the TA will get the translator's recording, even if it's imperfect, but just starting to record soon in the mother tongue. So let's do that now. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not trust in your own understanding. In everything you do, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Okay. One thing to look for is, are you recording well? You can determine that by the waveform. This waveform is not going above the top limit and below the lower limit. And it's a little bit small, but it should be okay. So we'll leave it as is, but that's something to verify, just so that your team can make decent recordings. And again, you're encouraging every member of the team to make recordings. After one's recorded, you hit play. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not trust in your own understanding. In everything you do, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. All right. So he'll ask the team, all right, what do you think of that? And have them discuss that in the mother tongue. And have each member of the team make a recording, just to get used to recording, but also maybe to find who in the team is going to be the best recordist. All right, second recording. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And again, you have to play it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. Okay, now in the guide for drafting, summary steps, set 6 is guiding us to have the TA get a preliminary back translation of the pieces so that he can understand. I prefer to actually go on to internalization now, having the team work through some internalization techniques. And the TA is part of this. He's guiding them. And during that activity, even though it's done in the mother tongue, he can be asking for that back translation. Okay, what did you guys just say or do? With that back translation, he can help keep them on track for accuracy. And so then, after some internalization techniques, and when the team feels more comfortable with understanding the meaning well, they come back to recording, make more recordings, and then at some point, the TA should say, all right, sounds like you guys are confident in your translation. Let me check your accuracy. So that's when we'll do the preliminary back translation piece by piece. So let's consider that with this rightmost recorder. You play a portion, pause, and have the mother tongue translator translate it back into the language that the TA understands. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. And all right, trust in God with your whole being. Do not lean on your own understanding and don't trust in what you know. In all your ways, acknowledge him. In everything you do, recognize the Lord, and he will direct your path. And he will guide you. So you get that preliminary back translation piece by piece. That's how the TA can help determine and verify and keep the team on track for accuracy. So that's what's mentioned, what is meant by a preliminary back translation. And you as the trainer in the project launching workshop will need to do that since you don't speak the mother tongue of the language group who's translating. Okay, so the guide, summary steps, page 85. Record and listen, discuss what's missing, what's added, what's wrong, right? Again, you want to make sure accuracy is good. You're considering, right? Accuracy and then all the principles of a good translation: clear, accurate, natural, and acceptable. Now it's guiding us in step 9 to listen to a secondary reference. So you'll have one or more, and so let's play that.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight.
Okay, so having listened to that secondary reference, hopefully that helps the team either confirm or improve their understanding of the passage. And at this point, let me use this occasion to make a note from this team to the reviewing team. So that this utility at the bottom allows you to do that. Hey, reviewing team, just so you know, we listened to the secondary reference and liked some of the way it said things. So when you evaluate our translation, please listen to the secondary reference. All right, notice I can hit the plus sign and make another recording. Also, guys, we'd like your opinion on our word choice. All right, and then they can submit those recordings. All right, so at this point, the team has been working probably for hours or days. They've gotten to a place where they say, all right, we feel confident we've got a good handle on this. And the drafts we made, the latest ones are really good. So they'll take from these two recorders the draft that they feel is the best and preserve it and delete the other one in order to make room for a high quality recording. So it's at this point that the team's going to take their laptop into a makeshift recording booth. So during the project launch workshop, you're going to make a recording booth like this by Friday of the first week for this sort of recording. And I'll show you pictures of that. This booth is for both teams, if there are two translation teams, to use. So they'll share it. They take their computer in there and they use the decided upon, the chosen high quality microphone. We like to recommend headsets with microphones so that the mic can always be at the same position with regard to the mouth, even if the person is moving around. So connect that to the laptop, and now you have to tell Windows to listen to that headset microphone. So to do that, hit the Windows key and go to your speaker icon on the bottom right. Right mouse click there and choose sounds. This is Windows 10. Windows 11 is similar. So you'll get to the place where you can control sound settings. Here in the Windows 10 sound box, you've got recording and playback. So for recording, make sure to choose the headset that you've plugged in. And here it is chosen. Then check the properties of that microphone. Look for something called custom. It'll have some microphones, some headset microphones, use automatic gain control, AGC. If they do, make sure to turn it off. And this one is turned off. Then check your levels. This mic seems to be recording well here at 100, so I'll leave it there. But if your mic is too hot, meaning that your recordings, the waveform goes all the way to the top limit and all the way to the bottom, then adjust your microphone volume down. Also, train your TAs to make a recording in a notebook somewhere of which volume setting is best for each of the people that record in their team. That way, when that person goes to record something, the TA says, all right, set the recording volume to this number, and you'll always have a good setting. All right. So that's the recording from the headset microphone. Now for playback. Normally in the project launch workshop, you have your Jabra connected. I don't have one here, but if you do have the Jabra, select that as a playback device. Windows may automatically choose the headset speakers once you plug it in. So go back to make sure that the playback device is the Jabra. I'm going to make mine the headset, or actually, let's do the system. So we'll make the system here the default playback. So if I hit set as default, that means Windows will always play everything back through the speakers. All right, so let's hit OK. Now with those settings in place, the team is ready in the booth for the chosen recordist to make the high quality recording. So let's do that. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not trust in your own understanding. In everything you do, acknowledge God, and He will direct your path. All right, then you have to play back. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not trust in your own understanding. In everything you do, acknowledge God, and He will direct your path. So we can compare that to the previous draft the team made, where they said, hey, this is a good draft. We want to keep this content. So let's compare it. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path. Okay. We made a change, so the team has to evaluate. Is that okay? If not, then you can delete and re-record there in the studio and keep it close to the draft that the team liked. All right, so let's say they've done this well. They say, yes, this is a good recording. The audio quality sounds good. The timing, the space at the beginning and end is good. And they feel like, all right, this one's great. We're going to commit that one. We're going to choose it and submit. And that brings you to the final screen, the review passage review for translate step. So you have to listen one more time to the primary reference and to the translation to verify it meets the 4 criteria. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own
straight.
All right, and now to the translation. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not trust in your own understanding. In everything you do, acknowledge God, and He will direct your path. All right, the team can go back and re-record if they like. They can also make more notes to go to the next team, to the reviewing team, or they can pass. So let's go ahead and pass. And notice that our translate icon is gray now, meaning there's no more work to do. If this set had multiple passages, we would now be brought automatically to the next passage, not here to the home screen, or to the next set if there was another set in the queue. But here at the home screen, you can see our sync button is yellow. Render is smart enough to say, hey, after you finish some work, you should synchronize. We won't do that here because this is the training project. Now what I want you to do is save the condition of this training project here where it's ready for peer review. So go to the C drive, find your render folder, highlight it like it is there, and hit Control C to copy and Control V as in Victor to paste. That'll result in a render-copy folder. Rename that to be render training project set 9 ready for peer review. All right, and so that preserves our training project in that condition.